Turning now to the Democratic race, Hillary Clinton is moving closer to securing the nomination. The man still hoping to stop her, Senator Bernie Sanders, is here with us. Welcome, Senator. So right now, what is the goal of the Sanders campaign?
To win the Democratic nomination and then to win the general election. Right now, we have about 45% of the pledged delegates. There are 10 states and some other contests coming up. We think we're strong in many of those states, including California, our largest state. We think we have a chance to win the majority of pledged delegates. It's an uphill fight, I admit it. We need to win 65% of those votes. The states coming up are favorable. That's number two. We think we can make the case to superdelegates. And there are many superdelegates now, rather incredibly, who are supporting Secretary Clinton in states that we have won 60, 70% of the vote. And we think we have the right to make the case to those superdelegates, hey, go with the majority of your state. Number two, to superdelegates in general, where she is beating us 10-1, because obviously she is the establishment candidate. Our argument is take a look at which candidate is better suited to beat Donald Trump. Every poll that I have seen, national and statewide, says that Bernie Sanders is the stronger candidate because we appeal not only to the overwhelming majority of Democrats, we appeal to independents as well. And the message, John, that we are bringing forth, that it is too late for establishment politics and economics, that we have to stand up as a people and take on the top 1% who are now getting almost all the new income and wealth. That is resonating in Indiana, where I think we have a shot to win, and around this country.
So just to make sure nobody has any misunderstanding, because there's been a lot of back and forth this week, you're fighting as hard to beat Hillary Clinton for the nomination as you ever have been in this campaign.
Absolutely.
To get there, many analysts, who look at the pledged delegates just say it's mathematically impossible. Are they wrong?
Well, here it is. It's difficult. It's not impossible. We will need 65% of the remaining 10 contests, plus D.C., plus Puerto Rico, etc., to do it. Now, 65% is a pretty heavy climb. But these are states, by the way, that I think we're going to do very, very well. And California is out there. California happens to be perhaps the most progressive state in this country. They have the most delegates. It's a tough fight. But the other point that we will make again is that if the Democrats want to defeat Hillary Clinton, if they want the campaign that has the excitement, the energy, the young people, a large voter turnout, I think our campaign is that campaign.
Your campaign relies, it seems to me, very heavily on this idea of winning by superdelegates. In talking to your supporters over time before, months ago, they said superdelegates were unfair, it was anti-democratic, but now the Sanders victory march relies on superdelegates.
John, no, that's not the point at all. What is unfair is when I win a state by 70% of the vote, and superdelegates in that state vote for Hillary Clinton because they're part of the Democratic establishment. That's unfair. What's unfair is before I even get into the campaign, Hillary Clinton has some 400 or 500 superdelegates who are on her side. That is unfair. But it is not unfair to say to these superdelegates, to say, okay, look, do you want to defeat Trump, capture the White House, not give it over to some right-wing Republican, take a look at which candidate is better suited, according to virtually every national and statewide poll, to defeat Donald Trump. And I think I am that candidate.
And what if a superdelegate is thinking about going to you, but Hillary Clinton won their state? Presumably they should stick with Hillary Clinton.
Look, there's not a rigid rule. But I think, if you win, Hillary Clinton wins with 53% of the vote. She won Illinois by a point or two, sure. But when a candidate, whether it's Clinton or myself, she demolished us in Mississippi, I think the superdelegates should support her in Mississippi. But when in states like Colorado and in many other states, Utah, etc., we win the overwhelming majority of vote, I think those superdelegates should go with their state. And what this is really about, John, is that the American people from one end of this country to the other are asking fundamental questions about why we are the only major country on earth not to provide paid family and medical leave, not to provide health care to all through a Medicare for all single-payer program, why we have so much income and wealth inequality. The American people really do want change. And people who want change are going to come out to vote. A large voter turnout means Democrats win.
What's your response to your colleague, Senator Jeff Merkley, who supported you but said that if there's no viable path for you, that you should unify and that the party needs to be unified?
Well, of course the party needs to be unified, and it will be unified after the convention in July. But this is what I believe. I believe that it is good for American democracy when we have a vigorous debate on the issues. And I believe it is good for the Democratic Party when we have a vigorous debate on the issues. I have tried throughout this campaign to run an issue-oriented campaign. And you know what? Sometimes it's hard with the media because you guys are more interested in political gossip than the real issues facing the American people. But that's what I have tried to do, not make personal attacks against Hillary Clinton. And I think we're going to continue that debate as to which candidate is representing working people. Which candidate will demand that the wealthy and large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes, that we make public colleges and universities tuition-free, that we address this global crisis of climate change. I believe that we have to impose a tax on carbon. Secretary Clinton does not. We have a lot of differences of opinion. The American people should hear that. Democrats should hear that.
You reached the one-year milestone of your campaign.
Yes, we did.
What is that, reflecting quickly on that, what does that milestone mean to you?
It means we have come an extraordinary distance in 1 year. You know, when we started, we were considered to be a fringe candidate. We have now won over 9 million votes. We've won 16 states. We have won in almost every contest a majority of people 45 years of age or younger, which means that our ideas are the future of the Democratic Party, that young people are now getting involved in a way that no one thought possible. I think what's going on now, people are looking at the status quo, John, and they're looking at the status establishment, and they're saying, as a nation, we can do much better. We need real change.
All right, Senator Sanders, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.